Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit further about troubleshooting a heat exchanger that's not igniting on a gas engine drive unit. This one is specific to ones that have a generator on it, belt drive generator. We've already been through a couple of steps already of verifying the belt is good, the RPMs are right, and the generator is putting out voltage. Now what we've done is we've accessed our electrical panel. And always the procedure for troubleshooting electrical is always the same. We identify our power supply, identify our power source or power supply. We find our common or ground so that we can appropriately test our power, and then we trace out the circuit with the hot leg. So in this case, what we've done is we've been able to find the cord that comes from the generator. You can see the cord plugged in the side of the generator, and if you follow that all the way up, it's orange. So we find the orange wire that comes into the control box. It's right here. So we have a ground, then we have our common, and then we have our black. So remember, when we're identifying and troubleshooting electrical, we identify our power supply, which we've done right here. We identify our common, which is right here, and we trace it out. So what I've done is, since all the commons are all wire nutted together, I found a convenient place to be able to patch in to the common circuit so that I can properly test it with my electrical meter. So in this case, we've got a wire coming from the wire nut, and it loops all the way around to the hour meter. The hour meter is the square device right here, and I can see that my common wire is on one side and my hot leg is on the other. That way, if the engine's running, then the generator's turning, it's putting out power, it's providing power to the hour meter, so then that's the way they're able to tell how long the unit's, how many hours the system's been running. So you can see that I've got my alligator clamp on the common side, and then if you follow this jumper wire with the alligator clamp, I've got it hooked up to the probe for my electrical meter. What this does is it frees up my hands so that I don't have to hold this probe. So do you see how it is neatly hooked up? The boot is covering so that I don't have anything exposed. And then it comes right over to our voltmeter. Then what I can do is I can take the other side of my clip and I can go ahead and follow and trace out my electrical. So in this case, with the engine running, obviously we're going to take and we're going to check to see where the positive line is coming from our orange cord, and it comes right up to the toggle switch. So when the engine's running, we test it here, and I actually bring my voltmeter around right over here where it's easy to see. That way I'm not having to spread myself out and create a dangerous situation, have to be safe. So I touch the probe to the toggle switch, and then I read my meter. With the engine running, it was 123 volts. Then I go ahead and I turn the toggle switch to the on position, and I check at the top of the switch with my voltmeter. I check 123 volts. Then I can come over and I can follow the wires through the control circuit. This wire comes all the way over to here, and there's just enough sticking out I could actually read my voltage here, 123. And then I come down and I check on the bottom at 123, and I had no voltage there. I actually said 10, but for a 110 volt circuit, that's nothing. So it was interesting that I had voltage at the top, but I did not have voltage at the bottom. This is your thermostat control. So what I did was, since the knob is gone, I got a pair of needle nose pliers and turned it all the way around to the other position. And then I checked to see, and sure enough, I had voltage right there. Okay, so that might have been my problem. And so since I found a point at which the power was being interrupted and I corrected it, then what I did was I came over here and I unplugged the solenoid, fuel solenoid. And since what I want to do is I want to read across those two terminals, the ones that are parallel, this side and then this opposite side. One side's going to be a common, one side's going to be a hot. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave my alligator clamp on my common, and I'm going to bring over my red lead, and with the engine running and it calling for burner, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check these probes right here to see if I have power. I can move my meter over here where it's convenient to get to without stretching myself all out, and I can go ahead and I can attach the probe there, and if I'm getting 110 volts with the gun open, the machine on, and the burner calling for heat, then I know that I'm going to be getting 110 volts when I plug it right back into the solenoid. I've already done all of that, and when I plugged it into the solenoid, then the burner took off and worked. So we know that we fixed the problem right here. We went ahead and we ran it good and thorough. About good 10-15 minutes is what we want to run these things. Cycling the gun to make sure that the flow switches are turning on and off correctly. And so that was one example of how to troubleshoot the electrical on a gas engine drive hot water with the 110 generator. If you have any questions, talk to your supervisor, review the video frequently, or contact A&E at www.aefresno.com.